What's going on YouTube? Astria Truth Exposed. Today we're going to be talking about the dangers of ghost hunting, paranormal investigators and researchers. A lot of these people get EVP recorders, SRS, SLS cameras. They get thermal imaging, ghost box, and then they go to these haunted locations and provoke ghosts, open communication to spirits. They do a lot of things without realizing the dangers of this. So this video is to expose the dangers of it. Spiritual entities. The spirit world is built sort of like the animal kingdom, in the sense that there's prey, and then there's predators, and then there's a wide variety of spiritual beings. Not just ghosts, not just demons, not just angels. There are demons, fallen angels, demonic spirits, demonic non-human spirits, and then lost souls, whatever you want to call it. Humans either rejoice with God in heaven, reincarnate, or enter hell. Now listen, most of the spirits or so-called ghosts that are on this earth are mostly demonic non-human spirits. The more time they spend away from God, stuck, trapped on earth, the more and more demented and wicked and deranged these spirits become. These demonic entities have been on earth for millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years old. They have deceived the smartest of mankind. They have dozens of lifetimes worth of experience. They have dozens of hundreds of thousands of years practicing lying, tormenting, having the wisdom of life and death. They can trick humans as easy as humans can trick insects. They can pose as young children, loved ones, your grandma, your grandpa. They can feel your emotions. They can hear your thoughts. They can read your mind. They will pose as someone innocent, someone non-threatening, someone familiar to gain contact, open the door for you to open that door for them. Once they get a foothold, they will slowly inch their way inside the door. Speaking of doors, let's talk about open doors. Think of it like this. There's a door that you can't see, right? This door follows you around and acts as a barrier between you, the afterlife, and spirits. It stops spirits from directly being able to influence you or attach to you. When you speak with these spirits, you invite conversation. You open the line of contact. You open this door to speak to spirits. While the door is open, so are you. Imagine the door as a force field. As soon as you open the door, the force field powers down, leaving you open to attack. Spiritual attachment. Spirits can attach themselves to the human energy field, or what we call the human aura. The spirit will act as a leech, slowly draining you through your energy field. While attached to your aura, the spirit can feel your emotions, it can feel your energy, and it can feed off of that emotion and energy. It can use that energy to materialize, move objects, interact with you in the environment. These spirits will begin to influence the human energy field the longer they spend inside of it. They can manipulate the energy field, share their emotions of extreme sadness, anger, jealousy. They purposely make people depressed, sad, angry. This is to drain them of energy. It's a siphon. Every time you get depressed, sad, angry, jealous, that's their food source, and they draw that from you for power. This is why you see cameras and electronics lose power and die immediately, because they drain that energy to be able to do things. They do the same thing to human beings. Human beings have an electrical energy field called the aura, being followed. These entities are not trapped at one location, despite what many people believe. Ancient tribes and Native Americans used to use salt lines. This was used to trap spirits or keep them out or keep them in. Of course, none of these paranormal investigators can go into these sites and just start putting salt down. So they pray, which is a good thing to do. And but that does not mean that these spirits cannot follow you. That you can pray to push them away, and then they come back and follow you when you leave. These entities can, will, and have followed people home. For example, let's say you're a very spiritual and religious person, and the spiritual entity cannot possess you. It will follow you, and it will begin to try to influence you by sending thoughts, sending ideas, trying to scare you, trying to torment you, trying to cause arguments, trying to make you irritated. Or if you have someone else living with you, such as family, friends, children, a spouse, they will attempt to possess, haunt, or torment them and have them affect you. Lastly, let's talk about signs of attachment. For all investigators and paranormal researchers, I suggest you put salt lines in your house and outside of your house. Put them at the entrances and the exits. This will prevent any entity from following you inside of your house that is not already inside of the house. Once you use the salt lines to remove spirits from inside of the house, you can pray and take a few different measures to get rid of these spirits inside of the house. These entities follow people home. For example, let's say you have a wife. Things start to come up missing. One of their items, something they need, the car keys, whatever it might be. These small things will lead to petty arguments. The energy or feeling of the house will start to get heavy. Sounds and noises, creeps and stuff going on at nighttime, little bangs. This is used to not necessarily scare you too much, but to interrupt your sleep process. The less you sleep, the more irritated you become. It will start sending you negative thoughts that you will believe is your own. It will start making you and your wife have dreams of the other person cheating on them, or even violent dreams of, bad stuff. Dreams that cause real life anger and animosity towards each other. You ever had a dream where you wake up and somebody did you wrong in the dream and you're really pissed at them in real life? That's what I'm talking about. With little sleep, the small arguments and missing objects turn into bigger arguments. Things might even escalate from verbal to physical. This tension will build between them, effectively driving a wedge between them. Now the spouse has moved out, and the guy who the entity couldn't possess before, the entity now has him depressed, angry, and isolated. He is now alone. The man is now prone to the last stages of attachment, possession. Now alone, the entity begins ramping up the attacks. Now that it has him isolated, it can play on his reality. It can make him question his reality. It will give him terrible dreams, thoughts, and ideas, and eventually the man will inherit these ideas and thoughts and believe them to be his own. The entity will toy with the man's mind, peeking around corners, standing in his peripheral vision. The man begins to question his sanity. His partner leaving, lack of sleep, depression, being alone, thinking of the bad things that he said, will eventually lead to thoughts of self-harm, exactly where the entity wanted him. Now it would begin scaring the man to feed off of his fear. Slowly, every time the entity scares the man, it grows stronger. It makes the man so mentally unstable that he can now become possessed. This can result in the man doing several terrible things. These entities use argument, driving wedges between people, sleep deprivation, increased anger and sadness, the feeling of being watched, moving and hiding objects, and several other ways to divide and conquer. If things were going good and suddenly take a turn for the worse following one of your investigations or contact with the spirit, you can bet your ass that something followed you home and orchestrated those events. You are dealing with something that is far more smarter than you, something that is a predator, a super predator, something that you can't even see, something that doesn't allow you to fight back, something that only appears whenever it wants to be seen. These entities can run circles around you. They can outsmart the smartest man that the earth can provide. They are very, very patient. They will wear you down over the period of months to years. And then you won't even know it until it is too late. So all my paranormal ghost hunting friends out there, or anybody who plays with spirit boxes, take Huff Paranormal as an example. I have a video exposing the things that he does. He was communicating with spirits and was attacked by demons several times. The same can happen to you. So make sure you watch this video, you take what you can from it, and don't communicate with spirits if you can. Have a good one.